In 1941, the world watched in fear as Nazi Germany launched its most terrifying attack, Operation Barbarossa. The Nazis were heading straight for Russia, and Moscow, the heart of the Soviet Union, was their next target. But then something strange happened. Joseph Stalin, the man who ruled with an iron fist, disappeared. No orders, no speeches. His country was on the brink of destruction, and Stalin was nowhere to be found. What was going on? Why wasn't the man in charge responding? Stalin had always been feared. His own people trembled at his name. But in this moment of crisis, it seemed like he might have lost control. The Soviets were losing ground. The Nazis were on the march. But then Stalin returned, not as a ruler but as a leader. He suddenly appeared, giving fiery speeches, rallying the people. A man who had crushed opposition now urged unity, not one step back. He declared, but could the Soviet people, broken and afraid, really stand strong? Stalin's orders were brutal. The Soviets fought fiercely, but at a terrible cost. Soldiers were thrown into battle with no regard for their lives. Families were torn apart. But Stalin's plan was working. Slowly, the tide began to turn. The Nazis, overconfident and stretched thin, started to feel the pressure. What was Stalin's secret weapon? It wasn't just the army. It was the people. The fear he had created fueled their rage. And it was enough to fight back. Then, something incredible happened. Winter came. The Nazis were freezing, hungry, and unprepared. And in that bitter cold, the Soviets launched their counterattack. The Nazis were pushed back from Moscow. But Stalin wasn't done. The victory at Moscow was just the beginning. The war had only just begun, and the ultimate battle for the fate of Europe was still ahead. In 1945, the Soviet Union stood victorious. The Nazis were defeated, but at a staggering cost. Millions of lives had been lost. The Soviet Union had been broken and rebuilt. All under Stalin's watch, but as the world celebrated the end of the war, a dark question lingered: was Stalin the hero who saved his people, or a dictator who sacrificed them all for power? History remembers Stalin as a man who led the Soviet Union to victory. But what price did his people really pay for that victory? Was he a hero or a tyrant who used his own people as pawns in a deadly game of war? The truth is more complicated than we can ever fully understand. What do you think? If you want to uncover more stories from history, hit that subscribe button. The story doesn't end here.